Yo, welcome to another episode of the MIGO experiment, but not just any episode. This is the centennial 100th episode of the MIGO experiment, y'all.
100.
Yeah, 100, man. Yo soy Henry Flo.
Yo soy Rick Diesel.
Yo soy Melly.
And for this particular episode, we didn't just pick just anybody, all right? This person is not just anybody. He's somebody. He's somebody so big, man, that you know what, but yet so humble, down to earth. But we have introduced you to him. He goes by the name of Nulfo Jose Ramos. Nah, it's like I'm playing with you, man.
Leave it. It's all good. That's my government name. Don't use my social though.
Yeah. No, man, but check it out, man. My man's interviewed some of the biggest stars in the whole industry, especially for our culture, man. Osuna Bad Bunny, man. He's done so many things. He's executive produced records himself as well. You see that big old 100 hot Billboard plaque behind him. That's only one of very many things that Mr. AJ El Callejero is here for. And let's not talk less. All right, let's talk less. Right now, I got for you. Who's with us? Mr. AJ
Callejero.
Wow. What an intro. Thank you so much, Henry. Much love to you, Melly, Rick Diesel. Congratulations on your 100th episode. One of the hardest things is to be consistent with an idea or a dream that you have. And I want to congratulate y'all because you've been up to 100. And we're going to look back at this episode of 100 when you get to 500 and see how much all of yous have grown as persons and how your craft has become better and better. So gracias por estar aquí, mi gente. Saludos, AJ Ramos, AJ El Callejero, pero siempre caballero, representando Pupusa Gang, Pupusa Power, all that salvadoreño para que lo sepan. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Está durísimo. AJ, mano, mira, tú vas a saber una cosa, brother. Mira, yo me he criado aquí en esta área. Yo no soy salvadoreño, pero como me criaba alrededor de tantos salvadoreños, yo me siento salvadoricano, ¿me entiendes?
I love it. Tú eres dominicano, ¿verdad?
Dominicano, manito.
Me pasa igual a yo. Gente a veces piensa que soy más dominicano que salvadoreño y yo te entiendo, pero lo importante, mi hermano, es la pasión y conectar esas culturas. So, te felicito y gracias por aceptar nuestra cultura salvadoreña con tu Dominican flow.
Claro, esa familia mía, compadre. Manito, mira, te quería comenzar a preguntarte esto. ¿Dónde comenzó tu sueño? O sea, where did you say, I want to be AJ El Callejero and I want to be somebody extraordinary?
A great question. I think it's crazy because many times nosotros sentimos que sabemos quiénes somos y quién queremos hacer o quién queremos ser nosotros. Pero en realidad que el universo siempre te demuestra. And I always say when you're aligning and you're moving into your dreams, you're going to find more dreams. So esto de la música no era mi sueño. Yo iba para la escuela to be a full-time pharmacist with a full scholarship in pharmacy at the school of Rutgers.
Okay.
And then I thought that was boring. It didn't excite me. Then I was like, you know what? Let me make the drugs, right? Because back in the day, I used to do my dizzle. So let me just make the drugs, right? Why not make them? I did try to do clinical laboratory science. That was boring as well. Then I was like, you know what? You can't beat them. You might as well join them. Y decidí ir a la escuela número 4 de justicia criminal in the world, Rutgers, Newark, same school. So I ended up graduating with a bachelor's of science and criminal justice with a minor in journalism and media studies. And then years later, I got my master's in communication. Pero esta vuelta de la música del negocio nunca fue mi sueño. I always feel that God and the universe just aligned it for me, man. My story is crazy as to how I got into the music industry. I was at a club at the Copacabana on 34th Street. My friend was lit. He was trying to take my car. He left with my keys. I chased him down with my woman. I was like, yo, you're not going anywhere. Nos quedamos ahí. Pasó una señorita hermosa preguntándole a mi amigo, what did you think of the radio station? My friend was trying to kick it to her. I got 5 little sisters, a little caballero. Callejero, pero siempre caballero. So I just told her, I spoke from the heart. I just said, yo, listen, I love what La Calle is doing. Reggaeton. Like, for everyone out there, La Calle 105.9 was the first reggaeton radio station in the United States to go full reggaeton back 16 years ago. So I answered her, yo, I'm from Jersey, I love reggaeton, papá. I didn't know who she was. And this is why a todo el mundo que está viendo esto, tú nunca sabes quién es quién, y es por eso que hay que tratar a todo el mundo con respeto y estar abierto para tener conversación. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, I kept walking. Long story short, I went to the cover of the radio station. I asked the guy with shits and giggles, yo, are you guys hiring? He said, hold on, my boss is here. The boss ended up being the beautiful lady that was asking us what the radio station was. And since from that day on, it's been history. I've been in the music industry for over 16 plus years. However, los primeros años para mí todavía no era algo que yo pensaba que era realidad. And this is where I talk about like imposter syndrome. And I feel that a lot of the times si nosotros no creemos en nosotros mismos, en el talento que tenemos, o no invertimos en nuestro talento, then we're not really going to get anywhere. So it took me since I started, about 2.5 years to be like, oh shit, this is my career. Like, it's time for me to invest in my career. And then boom, I worked radio for 10 years, helped launch the first reggaeton radio station, La Calle 105.9. Después de 5 años haciendo street team marketing, sales, promotion, producing the biggest concerts in New York, hosting events. El Callejero viene I started in a promotion team. So my job was to hit the streets and be on the mic. Yo, dímelo, estamos aquí. And the first product that I had to sell was a female hygiene product called La Fresca. Pa' que sepa. Ese fue mi primer 2 horas en el micrófono, yo. I was like, what am I selling? They're like, it's a female hygiene product, se llama La Fresca, 2 for $10. I'm like,
what?
So
I secretly use this product. Endorse it.
There you go. So like, I'm like, first of all, radio wasn't my dream. I got into it. I've never been on the microphone before. It wasn't like, I was just social. Like I'm the same person that I am now that I was when I was growing up. I used to throw parties, to chill, used to talk to people, all that, but it wasn't my dream. So that was my first thing. I did 5 years in New York. Then I went to Vegas. Hice 2 años en Las Vegas, donde hice full locutor, full just talent, DJ, right? After those 7 years, I went to, I call it the 3-year marathon, donde empecé a trabajar at SBS. I started at Amor, 93.1, que era bachata y pop. I was the overnight jock. And then I went 7 to 12 day part in New York, the #1 market. Then I've always had an executive in me, even to this day. Soy ejecutivo, soy talento, vivo los dos mundos. So SBS was like, all right, we need the executive AJ. I was like, nah, man, I like the on-air AJ, but they wanted the executive AJ. So we made a deal. I would be the marketing and promotion director for La Mega, the #1 radio station in the country to Latin speaking, #1 in New York. But they would have to give me a turn, un turno de radio, porque ahí donde yo me desahogo, ¿me entiendes? Like la radio, la fiebre. So I did the 3-year marathon. I was the marketing promotion director at La Mega. I would have a weekend shift at La Mega. While that was going on, I was the morning show host at Sirius XM Caliente all over North America, Canada, Puerto Rico, and the US. While that's going on, I'm working with Don Omar on his internet radio station, Redlink Radio. While that's going on, that's where I met Henry. I used to drive to DC and do radio in DC at El Sol. And while that's going on, I would do some Telemundo TV. And while that was going on, I was finishing my master's. So those 3 years were crazy. Después de esos 3 años, yo terminé. And then I took like a 6-month break just because, you know, it was time for me to leave SBS, all that beautiful stuff. And we can talk about that another day as to how it's important to put what you believe in, what you feel, and what you love to do first, right? Like if your heart doesn't jump and shit, like you guys love doing this show. That's why you have 100 shows, right? Está rompiendo. So I decided to leave La Mega. Then it was when an opportunity came that I became the first, un salvadoreño, para que todo el mundo que esté viendo aquí, un salvadoreño de Centroamérica, un producto de un inmigrante, fue el primer latino de la compañía Spotify en los Estados Unidos. So I basically educated the entire industry as to what Spotify was, the importance of digital music, streaming, the monetization, all that beautiful stuff. At Spotify, I launched one of the biggest playlists called Beast Mode. That's a workout playlist. I handled urban, tropical, and Christian. I negotiated, booked, hosted, and produced the first ever concert, 18,000 plus people with Bad Bunny, Daddy Yankee, and etc. I hosted their podcast, Que No Hice, and it was beautiful because as you can see what's happening in digital now, ¿verdad? Las cosas están de pintura. So while that was going on, I was still hosting events, hosting clubs, traveling, doing events in Europe, Baja Beach Fest, Solfrito, doing events in DC, Canada, all over the place. After my 4 years at Spotify, Google reached out to me, and then, you know, we started figuring it out with Google. So I'm at Google now for 2 years. I'm the global lead of culture for Google's employee resource group. Shit, I can't even say I'm saying it. Google, Diablo, Google.
Major.
And I'm the head of artist relations Latin for YouTube, and just doing what I do best. And this is where we are now. And just got announced again that I'm a Billboard Power Player. So this last year I was the youngest. This year I'm the second youngest. But for these 2 years, I think I'm the first Salvadorian to ever be named the Billboard Power Player, which excites me because our culture is strong.
It's amazing.
Para el pana Rick Diesel, soy más dominicano que algunos dominicanos. Y creo que lo dijeron una vez en una entrevista con Alofoque, que es lo mío. Y gente piensa que soy dominicano, pero no soy. Es que yo me crié con los caribeños, pero apoyo todas mis culturas como que si fuera la mía. Y fui uno de los primeros de apoyar todos los artistas dominicanos y en dejarles entender cómo se mueven estas plataformas. Del Alofoque, al Alfa, a Toquilla, a Juan Luis Guerra, a Romeo, a Aventura y a todo el mundo, ¿me entiendes? Soy un gran predicador del dembow.
Man, eso es.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, we definitely need that, porque ahorita mismo eso es lo que está rompiendo ahora mismo es el dembow. Era el reggaetón antes, en aquellos tiempos, que estaba subiendo, estaba como el underground music, que no estaba comercial todavía. Después llegaron varios artistas puertorriqueños que lo lograron a cogerlo y ponerlo directamente en la radio. Y ahora el dembow, ahora mismo, hay como una controversia que está pasando, como, you know it, man. AJ, you know the ins and outs and everything about what's popping off right now. Like with Rochi and Alpha, you know, that little cosa que está pasando, pero al final del día, es lo que tú dices, es un movimiento cultural, man, que está cambiando y está dando un diferente sonido, a different sound to our culture, period.
Yep.
And me saying that, AJ, you are pretty much right now, you're pretty much leading and pioneering, man, this whole Latino urbano culture, bro. Like, you know, it was created before you, but now that you're in a different type of platform, different stage, bro, how do you feel of this movement, man, and what is being created into?
I think it's beautiful, man, because, like, once again, and I think one of the reasons why the industry respects me is because I was never godfathered in this shit. You feel me? No one ever gave me the bendición. Oh, let's put AJ on. You don't know how difficult it is to be Salvadorian in a Caribbean, Mexican run industry.
Oh, I know.
With an accent that's not Salvadorian. So it's like, tu gente te dice, yo, tú no eres salvadoreño. I'm more you can't tell me I'm not Salvadorian. I'm Salvadorian. It's just, I was raised differently and in a Caribbean setting. But the beautiful thing about it is, man, I remember, like, when I first started and the first reggaeton station launched, these were the days that obviously habían más años todavía de trayectoria como los de Michael Manuel. I caught it when, like, DJ Playero was coming out and I was buying DJ Playero CDs. But I remember reggaeton was looked down upon, the urban music. It was like, hold on. How is this radio station popping off so hot? People didn't want to see that culture rise, right? Like, Daddy Yankee says it all the time, y por eso que lo respeto. Like, yo, what these artists had to go through to be where this movement is now is crazy, because now it's cool. It's accepted. Everybody wants to be urban now. You have pop stars doing trap, o sea, es una locura. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited because I'm seeing more visibility in other cultures, right? Como que lo que está pasando en Argentina, lo que está pasando en España, la República Dominicana, Colombia, los mexicanos, y lo que estoy viendo comenzar ahorita con nuestra cultura salvadoreña. I love the fact now that American artists that have a little Latin culture in them are now saying, yo, I'm Latino, I'm Latin. Before, it wasn't like that. They would put that Latin card in their pocket and be like, yo, I'm not Latin, yo. Like, I remember once there was an artist, I was like, yo, I put you on a cover on the playlist. She's like, yo, but that's a Latin playlist. I was like, yeah, you're Latin. Nah, but I'm trying to be known in general market. I was like, all right, no doubt. Ahora, yo, put me on that Latin playlist. What can I get? And that's when, you know, things are moving. When, you know, people are like what Tiny's doing, connecting the cultures between general market and Spanish. O sea, yo siempre he dicho, Latin is pop culture. And now more than ever, like the evolution of el movimiento urbano y la música urbana, hasta what's happening with women right now. Like Karol G's fucking killing it right now. Like like more female power, female empowerment. We're seeing more producers. So I love the fact that it's growing. But what concerns me is making sure that we protect the essence of el movimiento y la música urbana, right? But it's a beautiful thing. I think because of platforms and because of just different types of artists, like even alternative indie, you're seeing a lot of growth, man. You're seeing even that el artista y la fanaticada tiene el poder. Recuerda que vio un momento that if you weren't on, like you had to be on radio to pop off. Now you don't need radio. You don't even need playlisting, really. You just need a fan base, a niche, a community, and you can make it happen. So I think it's beautiful. I'm seeing more corporate companies spending more money on the culture, which is great. But, you know, just remembering that you got to highlight this culture outside of Hispanic Heritage Month, because for us, it's always Latinx and Hispanic Heritage Month. But it's beautiful, bro. A lot of growth, a lot of collaborating, a lot of genre-free music in a nutshell.
I really want to drop a comment. We are now established that you're book smart and street smart, which is, you know, it's really cool to know, you know, because we look at you and we always tend to look at the polished, finished product, right?
Exactly.
Like nobody really looks at that story. And what really resonates with me, you made a post related to the MIGO production recently being in Miami, and it was something related to you saying that that was your first out-of-state show that you did with Amigo Productions and being Salvadorian and all of that good stuff, right? So I feel, you know, you even dropped the name MySpace, and I had to take a moment. I was like, MySpace? I don't even think I have one of those, right? And then exactly, yeah. So I mean, you know, bringing some light into that, I was like, damn, like that's just so different, like. Because nowadays for artists as well as like MCs, any DJ, anything really that you're doing, even YouTubers, you have that social media platform that it's so common. And like whether you're consistent, that's sort of like a self thing that you determine. But I think when you were doing it, like MySpace and all of that, like how did you maintain your consistency without being able to easily connect with people? Like, you know, being out of state like 13 years ago or 14 years ago, it's like, wow, like, you know, like nowadays, like you guys tell me to fly out, I'll be like, bet, I'll go. But I can't imagine the culture 13 years ago. It's like questionable. Like, is this legit? Am I going to go? So like, tell us about that story, because I'm sure you can inspire many.
Great question. And thank you for like analyzing that. I think I was blessed in my era that I lived in two worlds, right? I lived in the industrial world, and I transitioned from the industrial to the digital. And that's where like MySpace began for me, learning how to use MySpace to grow my brand. And thank you about and I always say it, from the streets to the C-suites, right?
Yeah.
C-suites are like the VPs and executives. Like I used to hide that shit. Like, this is who I am. Like the streets made me who I am and the hustler who I am. But I used to take my book to the block. You feel me? And I was cool with that. People embraced me as to how I was. But, you know, I don't know why. And it's something that I've always mentioned. I think that we're all brands. Like Henry, Rick, Melly, you are all brands, right? And right now, this MIGO experiment is the brand within the brand. You're growing the MIGO experiment brand, but you're also developing your skills, right? You're developing what you want to do. And I think I learned that in my first radio job when I first started. I had the honor and blessing to work with one of the marketing geniuses in culture. His name is Edwin Garcia. I want to give him his flowers. When he sat me down and we started in radio, he was like, all right, dog, you're a brand. You're a personality. You need to build that personality. You need to build that brand. You're not Arnulfo. You're not AJ. What's your thing? I was like, I didn't know what, I wasn't creative at that time. So I was like, okay, La Calle, AJ El Callejero, right? But I started building that personality and just, you know, moving with life. And what I mean moving with life is I had to go promote La Fresca product. I had to go to events, but I started like, you know, AJ El Callejero de la Calle 1059. I started printing my own shirts. I started talking. There's people that reach out to me on Instagram that remember 16 years ago that because of me, they met Aventura. Because of me, I gave them tickets. So I've also learned to respect my community. So from the MySpace days, building my brand and building who I am and meeting with people, like right now, there's this person called Alexis, she goes by Chachi. My princess is her Instagram. She's been following me since 16 years ago. She was my first listener when I went on air overnight. I don't believe in fans and followers. I believe in a community. I believe that my job is to serve my community. It can't always be like, look at me, I'm killing it. Okay, I'm in front of a car. Oh, I'm a boss. No, I want to show my vulnerable side, and it's something that I've been doing lately. Like MIGO, and hence why I wanted to do this episode. And shout out to Alex and MIGO and David and the whole family. Like MIGO has been with me from day one, and they believe in me just because I was Salvadorian. And they pushed me to be a better person as well. And just seeing that post, seeing like, Polo Martinez, Black Eyed Peas manager, hit me up. It's like, yo, I'm gonna go check you out at your party, being the Black Eyed Peas there. And just, it's a lot of emotions to be like, wow, holy shit, from the MySpace days to where we're at now. But I think all in all, just being an honest, open, humilde, and real person is what allowed me to get where I'm at now, and using the social media to build my brand and push different communities together. But being to your point, Melly, like I know you're an artist as well. And something that I tell the artists, all the artists and everyone, it was like, look, the movie's cool. La película es linda. But when you show your real side, that's how you gain the hearts of a community and people. And that's what I've been trying to do lately. Like, yeah, bro, listen, I'm killing it. I'm doing amazing things right now, but I'm still fighting some demons. There's still different levels, different devils. Imposter syndrome is real. Balance, anxiety, all that shit is real. But most important than all that is owning your identity, man, and knowing who you are. Porque yo siempre digo que cuando uno no sabe quién es o no sabe cómo manejar su tiempo, someone's going to manage your time or tell you who you should be. So I've been adapting and adjusting to all this social media stuff, which is beautiful. But what I'm doing now is taking a step back and not allowing social media to dictate who I am, which I feel is one of these situations now that, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook went out. I was the happiest that day. I fucking loved it. I was like, yo, I can get some work done. Because we start scrolling, we start comparing each other, right?
Real.
Real.
Yeah, it's real talk, man. I mean, something that I was actually mentioning this to my brother Rick earlier. Like, when you and I first interacted, we interacted first at a soul. We were working together, and I reached out to you. Like, I got your number and I hit you up, and we just started chatting, bro. And then that's where I found out, one, you were Salvadoran, because I didn't know. Two, you're another person as well too, discovered by almost the same guy, really, that Pete Manriquez. Shout out to him as well.
Shout out to Pete. Yeah, he gave me my first radio opportunity, man. From day
one. Man.
Sent me to Las Vegas.
He gave me my first opportunity as well, and then me and you had that in common. Just the fact that we're working together, we were both discovered by the same person, and then you and I got to chatting. And one thing you did tell me that years ago, yo, what's your brand? Who are you? Blah, blah, blah. And I never meant to be an on-air host. Not even, I wanted to do DJing and stuff like that. On-air hosts came out because Pete was just like, your voice is worth much more than those hands. He was just like, the way you think, your personality, your charisma is just a natural thing. He's like, I got a knack for it. Bro, Flo, you're it. There's a reason why I picked AJ. That's the reason how I started the Breakfast Club, woo woo, and he went down. But my whole point of all this is that just to find people like you is not very common in the industry. And I say that because not very many people are willing to actually give you an opinion and be genuine about it.
Listen, Henry, and before you keep going, like, you know why I'm like this, and I'm not going to mention any names. I used to look up to a big, like, at that moment, I'm way bigger than he is now. And I'll say that proudly and happy. I used to look up to someone that was Salvadorian, bro. And that person knew, dog, that I looked up to them. Like, yo, I'll try to put money in their pocket and everything. The first person to block me of growing in the music industry was a fellow Salvadorian in another market. The second person to block me was someone that was acting like my friend and saying something. Like, it's crazy. Ever since those two situations, I promised myself that I wouldn't be that person. My legacy is going to continue to grow by paving the way to the younger generations, because I know who I am. If I put so many people on, it's fucking crazy, yo. But I know who I am. They grow bigger than me. That's good. let them be. I know who I'm destined to be. And I think that's the reason why I'm like that, because that shit hurt, dog. That shit hurt.
I feel you.
To be the one to block me. I'm like, what?
I feel you, because it's just like, even when I got into the business, you know, I explained to you, you know, like what I wanted to do. And you're like, you know what? Do it, bro. Do it how you want to do it, not how someone else wants you to do it.
Exacto.
And then we spoke about it too, because of that particular person, like, you know, I kind of respected, but then I started finding out the real truth about them. And it's just like, I don't really want to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of do that.
Somebody once told me that, like, the first advice that I got in the industry is you gotta have tough skin. Something that I learned recently is that no one should ever have the power of controlling how you feel emotionally. You should be in charge of your emotions, and you can't take things personal, dog, because everybody's going through some shit. And in this industry, everybody wants to fucking beat everybody and pardon my French. So it's like, yo, I bet that's the route you going. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do me. A door doesn't open, dog. All right, cool. I'm gonna make my own door. You don't fuck with me? All right, I'm gonna fuck with the people who do. Many times we worry about the people that don't fuck with us instead of the people that really fuck with us. And that's what I'm worried about now. Yo, Henry, Medi, you want to work? Let's work. Let's figure something out. You know?
That's my point. The reason why I was even going down this whole route is because of that point. Like you and I have a like-minded in that sense that why shine alone when you can shine with many more lights and shine brighter? You know what I mean? That makes a lot more sense. And then when I found out that you were like that as well, I'm like, oh shit, like here's another person who's very like-minded with what we're doing right now. And at that time, I think you were like because you started radio, what, 2006 or 2005?
I think I started 2006. Hold on, 2006, 2016. I think it was 2006, to be honest with you, because I have a video that I'm gonna post up sooner from 2010, but I think I was 3-4 years in. So I think wait, hold on. I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold on. Yeah, 2006.
Yeah, because I met you in 2012, and you were already like 6 years in the game, and I was fresh in the game, bro. And you for real, like the thing about the vibe you gave off, bro, was like, it don't matter. You can do this, dog. Like anybody can do this. It's true. In this industry of music, period, anybody can do it, but can you really do it? That's the thing.
And are you gonna stick around when, like, you're not doing it, right? The paradox of progress, the closer you are, the farther you feel. Yeah. And bro, I'll be the first one to tell you, dog, I got told AJ's not Dominican enough. I got told AJ belongs in an American station. He's too educated. I got told AJ's too Latin for American stations. I got told AJ's not ready. Yo, if I had $1 for every time somebody said something negative about me, I've always been an underdog, bro. Even to this day, I'm still an underdog, and I love it. Because now I have old bosses offering me jobs or asking me for advice.
You're still an underdog, bro? I don't think so, AJ.
Brother. I like that mentality, and I want to remain an underdog because it keeps me humble. I know who I am, definitely, but I feel I'm still an underdog. It's hard. Yo, my brother, it's hard being Salvadorian and Centro Americano in this culture, pa.
That's another thing too. Like I was telling Melly this earlier, right? Back in the day, bro, for you to come out to a tropical Caribbean station and say you're Salvadorian, you get frowned upon, bro, because they think because we're lazy-tongued, we're slow. Yeah. They think because we don't speak quickly and fast that we're slow, but in reality, I just mentioned this to Baby Boy in the last interview. I'm glad the way we're coming out, because yes, we do have a better pinta, right? We kind of do because of MS13 and so on, whatever, how socially they view us. But at the end of the day, I'm like, let's capitalize on it. They want to make us hood. Let's come up with hood music. Let's come up with the best fucking music and be like, damn, Salvadorans did that shit. It's like whole time it's like we're so multicultural. Like Rick, for example, he grew up around us, so he can vouch.
Rick got best of both worlds, man.
He do.
I love it.
And diving a little bit more into that, and we can keep it pushing and moving. Like, yo, Salvadorians in the U.S. are the top 5 diasporas in the country. We have one of the top 5 biggest populations. Why aren't there more Salvadorian superstars? These are the questions we have to start asking ourselves. Mm-hmm. Who are the Salvadorians in those positions to open more doors? I'll give you an example. My brother, I'm doing a show for Billboard, Cultura Class, the first Latin original content for Billboard. My stylist, Salvadoreña. Shout to you, Adri, from Houston. The producer of the show, she's an Emmy award-winning producer, Salvadoreña. But why don't we know about them? That's the question. And why aren't our people supporting our own people is the second question. But what I love about where we at right now, I feel, like, let's keep it real. Like you said, Salvadorian culture, we won't like, it's looked like wetbacks, right? Come, okay, well, you're different, this, that. You're seeing what's happening with Mexican culture right now, right? It's they're owning their identity and they're realizing, we got the power and people are coming to them. I feel that for our culture, Salvadoreños and these new generations that are growing up, like the Meli, right? Which, much respect to you, Meli, it's like, they're coming with it and they're not fucking around. Like, they're owning who they are. And that's a beautiful thing about Generation Z right now, dog. And I think more and more, like, you're going to just see more, it's up to us, bro. Change begins with us. And if we don't put on our people, then who will,
But that's what it comes down to. It comes down to pretty much power players being put in place, like yourself, for example. Like, and I mentioned that to, like, when we were speaking to Baby Boy, on how, like, a lot more Salvadorans are really have been positioned in ways where they can help with this whole explosion into the industry. But at the same time, keeping it professional in the sense that you're not just going to give somebody a shot just because it's nah. They got to have that work ethic, be humble, work, and ready to listen and work. You know what I mean? And that's how it goes. But as well too, AJ, like, what made you do the AJ style, bro? Because you be dropping gems, bro, when you be coming out and doing these things, man. Like so, what made you want to do that?
So people, and thank you for that. People, it just didn't start. I started doing these AJ style things when I was at La Mega, and that was maybe like 10 years ago. I'll be honest with you, brother. It first started because I was going through dark times internally, G. Like, externally, todo el mundo pensaba, this guy's at La Mega, this guy's killing it, but I was getting into my vices and just, bro, life, right? And it started because I would post videos up and talk, but I'm talking to myself. That's how it really started. Like, I'm motivating myself. And then, bro, I just started getting closer to God and the power of God. And look, man, for everybody that wants to get closer to God, it's my new merch line that's coming soon, Godfidence.
Yes, sir.
But like, you don't gotta be a saint to love God and to build your relationship with him, I was having a conversation with this guy Lecrae, who's like the Jay-Z of the Christian culture. Like, I've gone to a Christian conference and I've been at Lib on a couch on a mic with a bottle in my hand. You feel me? But I love God and I build my relationship with him. And I just feel that I talk to a lot of people. I talk to a lot of artists. The AJ styles that I do for the world, I do to artists. Like, what's up? You good? Papa? I just feel that, I don't know, man. I guess it's God-given, man. It's what he wants me to do. And it helps me, but I know it helps a lot of people. And then I started realizing that when I started going to like Grammy events, and people wouldn't even hit me up no more, be like, yo, I love what you're doing with the music. Everything was like, I love your videos. I love your prayers. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for sharing that. I'm like, oh, okay. There's a demand for this type of me. And I love it because music can be everything. And for everyone that's watching this video, and I think it's something that I told you, Henry, before, take away social media, take away the logo. Who are you? And that's the question that we all have to ask ourselves. In my case, take away Instagram, take away YouTube, take away Billboard Power Player, take away whoever the hell I am. Who am I?
Henry Flores, really.
You know what I'm saying? What's my identity? What's my purpose in this life? Because I know a lot of successful people that are empty inside. And this is why I feel that I like to shed more light on that mental health, because it wasn't cool to talk about mental health back in the day. It wasn't cool to have a gentleman conversation, which a lot of men need this conversation on how to be a man. I'm learning how to be a man at my age, dog. And it's way too late for me to learn how to be a man. I should have learned how to be a man way earlier. So that's why I do what I do, man.
Hey, Jay, man, talking about what you're talking about, brother, like, I've always said that, most the happiest people are the people that's going through the most, right?
Like that.
And, just doing a whole bunch of research on you, brother. I noticed I got notes on books that you read, The Way of the Superior Man.
Ooh, that's a good book.
Yeah. What is it? I got to read this one next. It's called, The Positive
Positive intelligence.
Positive intelligence. I took a quiz earlier, bro. I had to. You know what I'm saying?
Good for you, Red.
And I got like about 7 or 8 gems that you dropped online, brother, that I'm always listening to you and paying attention. And I'm like, yo, he's always repeating these things. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to.
Repetition is important.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I wanted to touch back on when you were talking about being Latino and moving into digital, right? I see you as one of the first pioneers to actually speak on it, you know, and you're actually the second person that I've ever met that's met Gary V. You know what I mean? I love Gary V.
I'm gonna say that's my brother. Listen, se me paran los pelos, but go ahead, keep going. I'll tell you.
Mira, yo lo que te quería preguntar, what does that moment feel for Latin culture and for you to meet someone like Gary V and speak on the Latin culture going digital and being exposed to the world?
So it's crazy, man, because Gary V, man, and shout out to you, Gary, and Mike Boyd and his team and all that. I'm a big fan of him, and he took me out of some dark places, man. You know what I'm saying? But this is a prime example that, the laws of attraction and programming the mind of what you really want. I said it, and I told myself, I'm going to meet Gary V. He's going to sit with me. First time around, I went looking for him. Second time around, he came looking for me. And how did this happen? I'll give you a quick story before I go there. One of my homies is an amazing photographer of sneakers. He created this concept of shooting sneakers. He always wanted to work for Nike. Nike didn't want to work with him. He was like, bro, I stopped worrying about wanting to work to Nike and I started focusing on my brand. He focused on him so much that Nike reached out to him. So that's what I did with Gary V. I know I wanted to read Gary V, but I was like, I'm going to bust my ass. I'm going to work. What did I do? I followed Tyler. I followed Mike Boyd. Everybody that I knew, I was like, I'm a big fan of Gary V. I'm dying to meet Gary V. Bringing it to the world, my inner child. You know how when a little kid wants something, he doesn't stop telling you that he wants it, right?
Yeah.
So, bro, and it just so happened, and that big shout to Christina Novo. Novo hit me up and was like, yo, you ready to meet Gary V? He knows about you. He says you're the Latin Tuma. Tuma Basa is a director of Black music and culture at YouTube and Google, and he's a legend in this industry from the days of BET to MTV. Like, he's a legend, and he's one of my big bros in this industry. And the fact that he said AJ is the Latin Tuma knew that I was in the right path of doing what I needed to do. But most importantly, like, everybody knew that I was such a fan that, Gary got some sneakers, some K-Swisses he launched. I went to go find out who was styling them, and it was homie, and dude, that was Dominican. I was like, yo, get me the sneakers, I'll do the free promo. Papi, he said todo de gratis, just so Gary V's camp knows that I exist. And boom, we got into that building, and we had the conversation, and I crossed it off the bucket list and said, I made it happen. That was me in underdog mentality. Remember, everybody's trying to meet with me, right? AJ. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna be like an intern. And that's how I connected with Gary, man. And it was a beautiful thing. And he's amazing. And I'm looking forward for him to be one of my first guests when I launch my podcast and my conversations and stuff.
He's the biggest underdog, man.
And that's why I say the underdog mentality. And his biggest advice for me was so simple, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, stop. I was like, yo, dog, yo,
like, where's the punchline?
That's it.
That's Gary.
I was like, yo, Gary, man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm traveling. And I feel, he's like, stop. He's like, stop, take a break, rest. Stop trying to live a lifestyle that's not who you are. Yo, mass simple, but it hit the heart, and it was so true, dog, because we're so hard on ourselves. So, man, yeah, I don't know why, man, and I tell people, I know reading is tough, man, but reading for me, it just hits the soul differently, bro. And honestly, I don't do enough reading as I should, and I'm holding myself more accountable. But if you look at a lot of millionaires and extraordinary people, what do they spend a lot of time doing is reading, man. And we get caught up on living this busy hamster wheel life that we really don't focus on growing and, working on your craft.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. AJ, listen, man. Let me give you the 8 AJ gems
Oh,
I have
damn,
right here.
yo,
He
Rick,
got the notebook out and
you got the
everything.
gems.
He
You
Yo,
got
saw the notebook?
I saw the notebook. Yo, send me a picture of that, please. Once you're done, send it to
I
me.
got you.
I'll have Henry give you my number because I want to share that on my socials. That's so fire, bro. Thank
I
you.
got you. My handwriting is ugly, man, but I got you.
Mine's worse, bro. You don't want to compete with handwritings, bro. I write like I'm in first grade, bro.
Oh Lord. Okay,
Type it up
yo.
real quick.
I'm gonna give you the 8 ones. Okay, so this is what I got so far, and correct me if I'm wrong, or if I say it incorrectly.
Okay.
The first one is passion and purpose over position.
I love that.
I see you say that a lot, man. Your rejection is God's protection and the universe aligns.
Yes,
I
sir.
believe that. Number 3 is there's an action to every reaction, and there's a plot for every setup.
Amen.
That's hard. Number 4 is busy is a choice in time.
Yes, sir.
That one hits me. Number 5, your network is your net worth.
Oof, talk it.
Everybody should have that one.
That's currency, pa.
Everybody should have that one. Number 6, no means next opportunity.
Yes, sir. All day.
Right. Number 7, love overpowers hate by 2.
I say that all the time, man, because I want to send people to hell sometimes, or I want to do bad sometimes, or I want to be like how people are, and I'm like, no, you're changing me. So I'm like, yo, love. I love to love.
Hay que dar amor. Hay que dar amor como quiera.
No, that's it.
And number 8, it's actually what you have in your hat, man. Godfidence. I wanted to ask you, what does Godfidence mean to you?
Man, for me, I feel that like it's crazy, man, because I have one of my interns who I put on to radio. Miami killed it and started getting closer to God. And now, like, my man is superseding me on this godly stuff, which is great. But he told me this, it's like, I no longer want more, man. I just want to be more, my brother. Inner peace is a new millionaire. And I got that from Gary. And I feel that when you walk with God, or you walk with who you are, like God plus confidence is Godfidence. The more time I spend with God, and the more time I spend being a better person, it just gives me this sauce, my brother, this ownership of who I am. And I'm no longer worried about what people think and what they say, because you walk on water, my G, and someone will always say it's because you can't swim. So Godfidence for me is owning your identity, owning your peace, owning your happiness, living your legacy, not leaving it. A lot of the times, though, we want to leave, oh, I'm going to leave my legacy. No, you don't enjoy your legacy when you're dead. You need to live your legacy. You need to enjoy the flowers while you're alive. So that, to me, in a nutshell, is what Godfidence is, man, is connecting with God, not being cocky, adding God and confidence, and calling it Godfidence, you know, like just being, like you said in the first gem that I dropped, passion and purpose over position, man.
Yes,
like, I never needed a position to realize that I've been a leader for many years with no big, powerful position. You know what I'm saying? So it's just walking different.
Yes, sir.
I will ask AJ, did you grow up? Yeah, like, did you grow up really with your relationship with God, or did you find God through those, events that you're doing where you're almost like an outsider, being Salvadorian, being Latin, so many things pushing you out? Was that confidence, or was it something that grew together, or was it something that you found confidence through God?
Well, I went to Catholic school. Like, I went to Catholic school to 6th grade, and I got kicked out of Catholic school, but that's another story. I was an altar boy too, but I really don't feel that
Henry was too, I think. Wait, all you guys were?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I went to a Christian school. I was Christian.
So yeah, I went to Catholic school, and I'll be honest, I don't know, like, I went to church, but when I would go to church, it's always like, what time I gotta be out? I want to get out of here. It wasn't like a passionate to want God, right? Or to, like, then I think when I started really getting close to God was in my year 7 to 10 of radio. I started getting a little closer, not too much, but a little bit. When I really started getting close was on my exiting of Mega and my transition into Spotify. Like, God put me on Spotify. Like, you don't understand. Like, I know it sounds crazy. I was like, yo, G, Like, what do you do after radio? You work for the two biggest radio companies. What do you do after, right? People counting me out. They're like, yo, what's AJ gonna do? Yo, me recomendé a Dios. He's changed so many things from me. And I know people, look, I used to look at people, yo, why are you putting your hand up? Like, what is this, yo? And I, like, even some of my friends that, but like got into God, and I was like, but yo, when the Holy Spirit touches you, man, he touches you. And I believe in everything Catholic, but I go to Christian church now, right? Like I follow Christianity, and it's just, man, it's where I get my peace, to be honest with you. And it's been a progress, right? And what I've learned, and I think is one of the things that people really have a hard time, is that the devil and the enemy knows how to use your shame against you. The devil and the enemy knows how to use your guilt against you and your sins. Yo, we're all sinners, man. The people that God chilled with were all sinners, right? And I started being kind to myself, and I started being unashamed. And I started realizing, yeah, like, yo, I fucked up. I've been bad. I've done bad, but God loves me more, and his love and his grace is more important than the law that people sometimes focus on. And that's it. Just started growing in my faith, growing in my relationship. One of my homies, though, just Mustafa, is Andy Minio's manager, who's one of the top Christian artists now. He put me on to him during my Spotify days. And it was in my Spotify days that I felt that I got a calling, right? Where Dell just connected me to Christian artists. And it was like God saying, all right, dog, I put you in this position. Now what you gonna do? And me supporting Christian music, that wasn't what they hired me for. But I felt like it was a calling, like, I God, you got me here, but this is what I got to do for you. So I started educating the Christian movement on the English and Latin side on how to become better artists and monetize and digitize. And I made the first Christian Latin playlist at Spotify, and I'm doing the same thing at YouTube. So that culture really resonates with me, because they're like, damn, dog, like, you on the other side, and they respect you on the other side, but you're showing love to my side. Like, I just jumped on a record right now with Madiel Lara, who's one of the biggest Christian Dominican artists right now. He calls me, yo, AJ, jump on my record, just do an intro. Just say, dímelo, 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 it's AJ, and that you're listening to my music. I'm gonna put you on the song. So I just feel, once again, it's God's purpose, God's work, and it's what gives me the strength, yo, to keep pushing in this industry and these fights and, all of that. So that's it in a nutshell. Don't know if I answered your question. But
no, you did amazing. Thank you for that.
I think you answered that question. You answered everyone else's as well, man, but as well too, bro. We appreciate you for your time, man, and for you who you are. Those who are kind of getting to know him a little bit here, comment and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But as well too, man, you got questions for AJ, man. AJ is, like I mentioned it in the intro, one of the most down-to-earth people you will ever meet. Despite the position he's in right now, he's in a huge position now. He's a big dog, big dog.
He's the underdog. He's the underdog.
I'm a big underdog. I like that.
Yeah, he got a big bark, but he's a big underdog, right? The whole time. But
he's a box of surprises.
Right? I mean, I still remember like when we were working together and following each other. Bro, you barely had 3,000 followers, right? I had like 132 followers. I had like nobody, bro. And like no bullshit, no cap, dog. And then like AJ hit me with this, and he told me this a long time ago, right? He was like, first off, the top 8, Rick, that you just did, my man did that in one conversation. Bro, net worth is your network is your net worth, and so on. Yo, bro. But at the end of the day, the one thing that stuck to me, and that really did stick to me, is always keep being you. Don't ever change for nobody else. Keep being you, because only you know what your brand is. Only you know you better than anybody else. So that being said, yo, I appreciate your ass, dog. You don't even have no clue. And then, because I was at the bottom of the bottom when you met me. I did the whole street team, everything. I just got on the air.
I gave you the love like you was the #1 fucking DJ in the entire country, respected you and spoke to you like, like a human, which I think is important. And you are talented, Henry. I've been telling you so.
And then when I actually achieved to be the #1 in my city, on the radio airwaves, all that, my man came to my town and he said this, dog, I'm sitting here hosting on the stage, you standing with me. I'm like, nah, bro, nah. This is your city, dog. This is you stand up here with me. And me being a modest, simple dude, man, like I'm just modest, dog. I know what I got. I know what I can bring to the table, but I'm just a real true, chill, simpático kind of guy, man. And you're like, nah, dog. He's like, this is where it's not even cockiness, Flo. It's a confidence, baby boy. Step up here.
Yeah,
boom, boom.
It's the imposter syndrome. Like we say, that shit is real, man. And in reality, before we go, just wanted to say thank y'all for having me here. Congratulations on your 100th episode. Big shout out to the whole MIGO family. Keep killing it with the music. Keep doing what you're doing. Rick Diesel, so much knowledge in that brain of yours. You have this little light, man. I don't know, man, but God has great things for you, bro. All right.
Thank
And
you, brother.
Henry, bro, you know, man, like I always tell you, King, you got a brother here, you got a big bro here. Anything you need, I'm here. And for everyone that's watching, I guess my last advice would be, we all have a gift, man. We all have a gift. And sometimes we don't know how to nourish our gift or give love to our gift or protect our gift, but we don't know how to leverage our gift. A lot of the times we want to network upwards and we can just network sideways. And remember, when you network upwards, there's 1,000 people going to that person wanting and wanting and wanting. You can be an intern. I'm an intern. Like, I'm always going to be an intern mentality, because when you serve and you give, the universe multiplies it ×3. But that's how you continue to grow and live your legacy. And for everyone out there, man, just follow me on the socials, AJ Callejero with a K. I hope to be in the DMV soon. I hope to be in Toronto and Canada soon. And whatever y'all need, man, we here, bro. We here, 100 show, 100 episode, man.
Sir.
That being said, man, go ahead, subscribe, comment below. Follow the MIGO Experiment as well, and MIGO Productions. Follow me as well, Henry Flo, FLO_DCF.
You can follow me, Rick Diesel, on Instagram. You can see my name right there.
You can follow me on all social platforms, Melly Q Music.
Yo, that's it for our 100th episode here with special guest AJ El Callejero. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, my brother.
Yo, you already know.
Good times, guys. Yo, love it, man. Be good, be great. And thank you for this interview. Thank you for taking time and like looking up stuff for me. Rick, that was dope. Melly, that was dope. Henry, that was dope. Have fun, guys. And remember, you have a platform right now to be the first platform to interview people. Don't take that lightly. And it's a job, and it's a job that's going to allow you to leverage more of what y'all want to do. So keep killing it. I love y'all, and I'll see you soon.
All right, brother.